On Two Wheels this week, Jeff meets a man who spent a fortune on accessories, Goldwing owner John Brayshaw. And I take a ride on Malaguti's award-winning scooter, the Yesterday. We'll tell you how to stop your machine ending up looking like this. And Wayne travels to Yorkshire to visit a motorcycle clothing shop with a difference.
Goldwings, love them or hate them, they have a fantastic, almost cult following. And John Brayshaw from Morecambe is certainly a big fan. Now John, it's right to describe you as a Goldwing enthusiast, I presume?
Very much so.
Yeah, because looking at this bike, I know you've trimmed it up and all the rest of it, but you bought this new as a standard
I bought it as a standard 2 years ago, 98, and then caught the bug, as in dressing the bikes up, which individually people do to their own use.
Yeah, there's something about Goldwings, isn't it, that makes people do this. I don't know if make them do it, but they certainly do. And so,
I think it's now classed as...
Aren't they big and brash enough to start with?
Well, that's right, but I think it's classed as big boys' toys.
Right, yeah.
And you get to the age where you can then carry on and
keep
dressing the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you done with this one then, for instance?
Again, put a lot of extras on, the wind defectors, the heaters for your legs, the backrest and armrests. Footboards, they're extras as well.
Yeah.
And again, you've got to look after the ladies, armrests.
Yeah, and because she's got her own speakers. That's standard kit though, isn't it?
That's standard kit, yes.
Yeah.
You also work on an intercom, so if you get fed up with talking to your wife, you can always turn her off, which is one good thing.
I'm sure she'd like that.
She might not like that when she hears it, but never mind.
So what have you got? What have you got down there? Is that a CB?
With a CB radio on,
yeah.
Which again, if you get lost or you're turning wrong at a junction, you can talk to the other bikes, and get your directions back again, which again is for safety purposes.
Because it's almost the trucker syndrome, isn't it? I
Very
mean,
much
they're
so,
as big as a truck, aren't they, really, if you don't mind me saying?
Very heavy, just under half a tonne in weight.
But it's all part of this big bike, CB radios. I've seen you open face helmets, the old mics on and all the rest of it. This is all part of the lifestyle.
That's all part of the lifestyle. You go out generally in couples, so your husband and wife or husband and girlfriend,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good fun. And the social side of it is...
It's massive,
is
isn't
everything,
it?
very much so. Yeah. And it's growing bigger every year.
Because you call them wingdings, don't you?
Wingding is the get-together of the local areas, and then the main one, which is the all of Europe and England, is called a Treffen.
Ah, right. Okay.
Which where they come from, Europe.
Yeah. And you've been on some of those as well?
I've been on 2 or 3 of those. I went to the States last year to Wingding over there. Right. 1,500 bikes there.
Yeah, right.
Big thing in the States and getting bigger in this country.
Yeah,
very much so.
That's a lot, isn't it? So, but you didn't take this one over, or did you?
I didn't know. No, I don't actually know the cost of flying a bike over. Some chaps from the States came to this country last year and flew the bikes over.
Right.
And toured around for about 3 months.
Do they take a jumbo each? Do they to bring you over?
Not far off. Not far off.
No, that's being cruel, isn't it? Now, what else have we got in the toys department on this? I mean, what's this? A windscreen wiper on a bike?
Right. Yes. One of the chaps in the club makes this.
Yeah.
And you just swipe it across a couple of times.
You mean it's not motorised?
Not yet. That's the next model out. We have a 10-disc CD player as well.
Yeah.
The unit is in the top box out of the way.
Right. That's a job for the wife to change that?
Well, that's right, yes. You have the music that the ladies like to listen to.
And you've got the Christmas tree lights on.
We've got the Christmas tree lights, very nice in the dark.
Yeah, so we can't see that at the moment. And what have you got up here? 2 extra gauges I can see.
With 2 extra gauges, the voltage meter, again, with having so many lights on it, it takes a lot of power out of the batteries, so you can keep your eye on the voltage meter.
Yeah, right.
And we've also got the outside air temperature.
That's so you can switch the air conditioning on it.
That's right, yes.
I must stop this one time, but it's all good-natured stuff, isn't it?
Very much so. We get carried away, but it's all good fun.
And tell me, you got the trailer on the back there. What's that? Are you into camping or?
We're into camping, and again, you don't want to put too much weight on the bikes. So of course, a trailer is another option, and you put your tent and all your goodies in it, and away you go. And one unit and away.
Can I ask you something about this sort of culture thing? I mean, I respect the Wing for what it is. It's a big touring bike, but they're not particularly my cup of tea. But I mean, how do you get? It's like Harley riders; they suffer from a lot of Mickey taking as well.
Very
but
much
you
so.
take it in good part, though, don't you?
Well, yes. because of the type of bike it is, and because you enjoy yourself, it's each to their own.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's right. So you take no notice, really.
We take no notice now, but it's amazing how many people do actually stop and look at them, but won't admit that they wish they had one.
Yeah, that's right. Because you mentioned your wife, and she must find this far more comfortable than being on a sports bike, for instance. Or wouldn't she want a sports bike?
She would not go on a sports bike, full stop.
No.
For the safety aspect of it, she likes this. Very comfortable. You can listen to the music as you're going along.
Yeah.
Lovely. Nice seat, armchair.
Yeah. Sounds excellent.
You know, you got the armrest, the backrest, and she feels very safe on here.
Yeah.
And which is good because we can both go out on the bike rather than me on a sports bike.
Yeah,
you know?
and leaving her at home or
Very much
worrying
so.
about you or whatever.
Very much, yes.
So, well, how much do you think you spent, what, with the trailer, the bike, the trailer and all the rest of it? What sort of investment?
With all the goodies, you're looking at probably between 17 to 18,000.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
The basic bike's about 12,000.
Yeah.
Then you start with the extras and the trailer, about 18,000.
Yeah. Well, last question, John. What did you actually come from before you bought this? What was your previous bike?
Right, previous bike was about 20 years ago. I had a BSA,
Oh,
and we also had scooters. The children came along, so the bikes went. Now the children are grown up. Here we are, back into biking.
And so now, next bike, the 1800, I suppose, the new one?
Possibly, possibly. I'm working with my wife discussing this matter, but possibly.
A very tactful answer there.
Very much so, yes, yes.
Now, I know what you're thinking. No, I haven't been in the pub. Well, only for 10 minutes anyway. But just imagine how I felt a few days ago when somebody phoned me and said, would you like to come and ride Retro Machine of the Year? Whoa, yes please, I said. A big throbbing muscle bike, that's what it'll be. Well, not quite. What he actually meant was this. It's Retro Scooter of the Year. Yes, it's a Malaguti Yesterday. Just as well I didn't wear my race leathers, eh? Just as well indeed, because with just 49ccs to play with, this little Yesterday has absolutely no chance of breaking any speed limits. Perhaps the idea was to make it deliberately slow so that everyone can enjoy its good looks. It performs, well, if that's the right word, exactly the same as every other 50cc scooter. 30 or occasionally 40 down a hill is about as good as it gets. Well, a real blast from the past, as you can see. The name says it all, doesn't it? Yesterday. Nothing to do with Paul McCartney, I'm afraid. But down there, you can't see it. It's tucked away. You can't see it on modern scooters these days. 49cc Moto Minarelli engine, air-cooled, all the way from Italy, as indeed are Malaguti. And in fact, you know, since 1930, Malaguti have sold over 3 million scooters. Yes, over 3 million since 1930. Amazing, isn't it? I mean, that's what, 7:30. Some going, that. Let me show you my favourite bit though, one of my favourite bits. I could just find the key. On the back here, a top box. Well, not quite a top box, is it? A more sort of on the side box, really. That opens up and there's a little compartment there, a little cubby hole. You won't get very much in it, but a few bits. Looks like a spare wheel cover that the old Vespas and Lambrettas used to carry many years ago, but doesn't carry a spare wheel on this one. And on the back here, the centre part, that's just a reflector with the logo. And here's the indicators, and look at that, nice chrome finish on there again. Very, very smart, bit of thought gone into that. And as you'd expect, you can lift the seat up, pop your key in, unclick it, seat comes up. Big storage compartment there, get a full face helmet in there, no problem. Petrol goes in there. I'm talking about petrol, 60 odd, probably at least maybe 70 to the gallon on one of these, so very, very economical, very cheap to run. And only £15 a year road tax, one of these as well. 15 quid, that's all it'll cost you to put it legally on the road. You may notice this rack here. You'll think, what's the point of having a rack there? Because you can't see it when the seat's down. Well, there's good reason for that. Because when you buy one of these, you can have it with the dual seat like this, or you can have it with a single seat, which finishes here. And that bit isn't there. You don't get that, which lets you use the rack and also puts it on view because it looks nice. But what do you do if you say, well, I'll have the single seat, and then afterwards you think, no, I should have bought the double seat? Well, you can buy the seat like this as an optional extra. Stick it on later. It'll cost you 90 quid. You might have noticed underneath there was no place to put the two-stroke oil, because a little two-stroke motor this. That's because the two-stroke oil in this one goes here behind this front grille, which again is a very fancy, elaborate thing. This nice chrome finish, only plastic, but it's got a lovely chrome finish on it. And in there, the two-stroke oil is. Also in there is the battery. Why it's in there, I don't know, but that's where it is. Well, we're down here. Look at that mudguard for a fancy bit of work there. 3 pieces that, 1, 2 and 1 on this side. It's not just any old moulding, any old lump of plastic shoved on. Again, a bit of thought's gone into that. Nice little touches there. Little detail on the side again with a chrome finish. And look at this. White wall tyres, eh? When was the last time you saw white wall tyres on anything? I can't remember. A real blast from the past. So who might buy a Malaguti Yesterday? Well, probably the kind of person who likes to be different. Someone who doesn't want to blend into the background along with every other modern day scooter. Also someone who isn't impressed with a modern scooter which looks as though it's just fallen straight out of a Buck Rogers movie. Perhaps someone who appreciates style and class and who remembers the days when it was important to build something which actually looked nice. So how much is it going to cost you to step back in time on a little Yesterday? Well, let's look at what you're getting first. You're getting Italian engineering down there, Motor Minerelli, nothing wrong with that, been around a long time, very, very good. Disc brake on the front, drum brake on the back. They're not pin sharp, but this isn't a power machine, you don't really need them to be pin sharp. They're good enough for this, believe me. You're getting Italian flair and style. Look at it, it smacks of style. I do like that back end. Beautiful touch that. Loads of little bits of chrome everywhere. Chrome here, chrome there, nice chrome surround on the dashboard. Look at this down here, that's beautiful, isn't it? I just think it's a nice looking thing. I think they've done the job absolutely spot on. So it's going to be very expensive, isn't it? Well, probably not as dear as you might think. £1,899 you can have one of these for. Yeah, $18.99. You can have it in silver like this, or a red one, a nice cream one, or you can have a very deep blue one. And there's a 70cc version as well to follow, and that's expected to cost just over £2,000. So there you are, a real blast from the past. Right, back to the pub. Just for a soft drink, of course. And after the break, Wayne visits a bike clothing shop with a difference and will teach you how to lock up your bike.
I brought you to Huddersfield in Yorkshire this week, and I brought you to a shop called Geared Up, and it's actually run by a lady called Martha. So let's go and meet Martha. So you might wonder why I've come to Martha's shop. Well, there's a very good reason for that, and it's very simple. It's because it's quite unique. This shop is run by a lady with other ladies, and it is unique. I don't know any others, to be honest with you. There perhaps is somewhere and around and about, but certainly not many. So I've got to ask the very simple question. What on earth possessed you to start a bike shop?
Well, I've had a bike for 18.5 years now, been riding bikes, and I saw this job going, as sales assistant in a motorcycle shop, and I went for it and I got that job, and I worked there for 7 years. Was
that selling motorbikes or the gear?
Clothing, the gear, yeah, and accessories.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the job, but I wasn't free to sell exactly what I wanted to sell. You know, I wanted more freedom to sell more ladies' clothing, children's clothing, and they weren't really interested. So I just thought, well, I'll have a go myself.
Sure, well, I don't blame you. I think it's very brave of you. How long ago was that then you started this place?
8 years ago.
8 years ago. Yeah. And it's doing very, very well, but you have, it's unique. You have got a niche in the market because you do specialise in ladies and kiddies gear as well.
Definitely.
As well as everything else, because I mean, I've been around the shop and you've got all sorts of stuff. But you obviously thought then that there are more lady bikers out there who need the gear and attention and help.
Yeah.
Did you think to yourself that also that ladies might like to be served by a lady?
Yeah, I think they won't be scared, because I remember when I first started, I was really nervous going to a big bike shop and all the men looking at you and not taking you very seriously, and not a lot to choose from neither.
Yeah. Actually, you've touched on something there, not taking you very seriously. How does the rest of the trade take someone like you running a shop?
Seriously, yeah.
Do
they all wished me well, actually.
I bet
they do.
But you know,
pleased.
like it's a male-dominant sort of industry, really. And that domination is just quite populous. I mean, there's just a lot of blokes out there who ride motorbikes and who have started bike shops. But it is nice to see a lady doing the job. In the same respect, what about reps that come in who are going to sell to you? Do they think you know what you're doing or not?
Yeah, I think they do, but I think, to be honest, they're a little bit frightened of us.
Frightened of you?
Yeah.
Why would they be frightened?
Because when they show us all the gear that they've got to sell to us, we pull it and tug it and really test it out, you know, and and all that.
Oh,
Try it
I
on.
hate you as my customer. Flipping it. And I bet you drive a hard bargain as well, because women do know how to get the prices down, don't they? So, which is good for the consumer, isn't it? Because you're testing this stuff, you're giving it a real rigorous looking at to work out what's best for your customers, and the prices have got to be right. So that's good for the consumer. But tell us about your consumers. Who are your customers?
Well, we get men obviously in, quite a lot of women, probably more women than perhaps other bike shops might get, because we know now, because we do a lot of stuff for women, from really petite women to generously rounded women as well.
You say that's so politically correct there, yeah. So you cater for everything.
And children
kids
as well.
Oh, well,
kids,
good.
yeah.
You see a lot of shops don't, do they? Because it's a minority market, but you've obviously gone out of your way and specialise. It's very nice to know. What about staff-wise then?
We've got all the people that work here are women, apart from one Saturday lad.
One lad amongst many women.
Yeah.
Have you got any jobs going at the moment? Part-time job for
well,
me,
I can put you on my list if you like. It's a very long list, yeah. It is. And
but you would consider me
besides,
for the job, would you?
No, I'd like somebody that knows what they're talking about. Sorry.
Don't apologise. I'm not offended. I think we should cut it. No, we won't. No, it's interesting. No, it is interesting, and I'm glad that such shops like this do exist, because ladies and kids are not catered for. So that's a good pointer, really. So where we go from here now is presumably, if any new products come out that are specific for ladies or kids or whatever, you will consider them in your shop and wear them up. And big and small, don't matter, whatever.
We do made to measure as well.
Oh, do you?
For men, women, yeah.
Oh, measure.
Yeah.
Do you measure men as well? I just thought I'd ask, just because I think I've got to take measure in my pocket.
Yeah, but you have to measure your own inside leg measurement.
I'm not particularly interested. All right then, well I might just call upon your expertise and services later on in Two Wheels, so you can offer some knowledge to our consumer and our viewer out there. Thanks very much, Martha.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Didn't see your hand then.
There we go, that should do the job. Now security, as you can see, heavily chained and shackled this. Wayne has spoken many times in the past about motorcycle security, but it's something that we all need to be aware of. If you own a two-wheeler, you've got to be very, very security conscious in today's world. You've got to look after your machine, whether it be a big, powerful super bike, a fancy custom job, or even a little 50cc scooter like this. You've got to protect it. So that's what I've done here. I've locked this thing up with close on £1,000 worth of locks and chains. The very, very best that Abbas, Squire and Oxford have got to offer. So it should be fairly safe. Well, I'll just take 5. So let me just give you a few facts and figures which might just astound you. And I tell you that according to the police national computer, 28,000 motorcycles are stolen in this country every single year. That means one bike every 19 minutes. Yes, one bike every 19 minutes. Amazing, isn't it? Now, if you've not had one stolen yet, then beware, protect it, because your odds are getting lower and lower. And of that 28,000, a staggering 86% are never ever recovered. You will never see them again. So protect it well. You'll do us all a favour. Nobody likes high insurance premiums. If you can stop your bikes being stolen, it might just help the rest of us to pay a little bit less on our insurance. Well, that's around about a minute or so let's go and unlock it. Well, flipping heck, eh? Blow me. Surprise, surprise, it's gone. Not really a surprise, is it? It was heavily locked, £1,000 worth of locks and chains, but it was locked to itself. It wasn't locked to anything else. So a couple of local crooks could have passed by in the van, opportunist thieves even maybe, picked it up in the back of the van and it's gone. They could have even dragged it round the corner and they could be hacking away at the locks and chains as we speak. Disappeared forever, maybe. It probably won't come back. If it should return, it could well look like this. Yes, what a mess indeed. This is the same model of scooter which was stolen and it was locked up. In fact, this is the lock that it had on it. This was round the back wheel, so you couldn't actually wheel it away, but the crooks pushed it away and they jammed this round the back wheel. And just look at the state of it. Believe it or not, this machine only went about 200 yards from where it was stolen onto a field, and then it was basically just wrecked, pulled to pieces. Look at that, beautiful front fairing there, completely knackered from down there. All the clocks are smashed, the lights, the electrics, been hacked at and hacked at. It's just an absolute mess. As I say, it will be an insurance write-off. The owner of this machine could have saved themselves an awful lot of heartache if they'd have obeyed one simple rule when locking the bike, and I'll show you exactly what that is. The very best way to secure your machine, to look after your pride and joy, is to lock it to something like this. You don't have to cover it in loads and loads of different locks to spend hundreds of pounds. One decent chain like that, and secure it through a wheel, front, could be the back wheel, to an immovable object like this post here. Ah, but you're saying 3 or 4 guys, big guys, lift the bike up, front wheel up in the air, they could lift this off the post and still have it away. Well, yes, I suppose they could, but at least that's the start. Let's go one better. This is what we're after, a big lamp post, the perfect solution. Lock your bike to a lamp post. Simple, round the front wheel again this time, lock it up there, and that's it, safe and sound. Nobody is going to lift this bike over that lamp post. They ain't going to lift it off there, honestly, believe me, it won't happen. But then you say, I haven't got a lamp post outside my front door, I've got no stumps, no road signs, nothing at all to lock it to, no railings, nothing like that. What can I do? Well, simple. Get yourselves one of these. This is a ground anchor. It comes in a kit. This is about 80 quid's worth, this one. Comes with all the bolts and the tools you need, and even a solution. This goes on there like a kind of cement. And once that's in the floor, again, chain goes through there, through your wheel, round your swing arm, wherever you want. Nobody's going to touch it. Even if you've not got a drive to put it on. Put it on the wall, put it on the side of your house. That'd look quite nice, wouldn't it? Put some flowers in it. On there. Stick your chain through there. Safe and sound. So do yourselves a favour. Protect your pride and joy. It'll save you a lot of heartache in the future, and you might just save the rest of us a few bob on insurance. And on Two Wheels next week, Jeff brings us even more from the wacky world of the Goldwing Owners Club. And Richard Hammond takes a ride on Suzuki's GSXR 750.